The Braves arrived last night looking for any possible way to end their longest losing streak in 28 seasons. A deceptive night on the mound and production at the plate was the perfect recipe for a slump-ending victory. Aaron Nola gets the call to end the starting rotation skid in game number 2. Noah doesn't show a whole lot of emotion, but you know after his last start against the New York Mets, he was anxious to get back out at it tonight. Here at Citizens Bank Park, he'll get set to take on the Atlanta Braves. It's game 2 of a 3-game series. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, joined by Matt Stairs. Greg Murphy will be along in just a little bit. We'll talk about Aaron Nola and the Phillies pitching staff in just a little bit, but let's first talk about the National League East. At the beginning of the year, we had no idea what the personality of this division was going to be. We thought the Nationals would run away with it. That has not been the case. The Mets have the lead, and I think those numbers right there are an indication why the Mets have the lead, Matt.
Well, the 38-20 record versus the National League East is so important. You're playing these guys so many times, 17, 18 times throughout the year. You have to take advantage of playing teams like Miami, Atlanta, and Philly this year who are struggling. You can see the last 13 games, 12 losses. And that's what the New York Mets are doing. They're stepping up. They're taking advantage of playing some teams that are struggling. Now they're going in to play Washington. Washington is playing head games with himself, and all of a sudden the Mets are having fun, relaxing, and that's why they're top of the division.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that as we go through tonight's ball game and even their matchup tomorrow as well. But let's talk about this Phillies pitching staff. All year long we've talked about the struggles of the Phillies starters. They sort of equalized things in the beginning of August, but they're back struggling again. This 5-game losing streak, the numbers are staggeringly bad. 11.74 ERA between the 5.
Well, with all 5, the 6 ERA, the 6, the 7, the 6, and the 5, it's all because of one bad inning. All the pitchers have had one bad inning. Asher gave up 8 in the 4th inning. Eichhoff gave up 4 in the 2nd. But the key for Aaron Nola tonight is command. And last time he pitched against the Atlanta Braves, he had tremendous command, overpowering fastball right here, elevating with 2 strikes. Good fastball inside. Getting some weak ground balls, which is so important for him because he's not an overpowering guy every pitch. Another good fastball inside. Hitters can't get extended, so they're either jamming themselves or they're trying to stay through it. Now, his last start, he struggled with location. Fastball, location, outer third. It's so important, especially the guys that don't throw 94, 95. Again, another fastball up in the zone, fastball flat, didn't have the sink. We call it a stinker, not a sinker because it doesn't have a lot of run. But you have to go out there and when you throw the fastball in, don't be afraid to miss inside. But you cannot nibble, because all of a sudden you get the 1-0, 2-0. Next thing you know, major league hitters are hitting with 2-0, 3-1 counts. That's what happens. Home runs, base hits. Get ahead. Don't nibble. Attack the hitters.
Yeah, that was evident in the series against the Boston Red Sox in particular for these Phillies starting pitchers. We'll see if they can figure it out tonight and end this 5-game losing streak. It will be Nola making his 10th start here in the big leagues. He has 15 wins overall. Meanwhile, Ryan Weber, he is making his major league debut for the Atlanta Braves. Game 2 of a 3-game series should be good night here in Philadelphia. Well, since 1933, the Budweiser Clydesdales have been a big part of their program. Well, guess what? They're visiting here in Philadelphia along with their Dalmatian brewer. Lineups and first pitch when we return. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Still brewed the hard way. This Bud's for you. By Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. By Citizens Bank, one deposit checking. Keeping things simple is helping you bank better. By Toyota, where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. And by Independence Blue Cross, live fearless. Learn more at ibs.com. fun with the Atlanta Braves relief pitchers as he was coming in. Well, what did that do? It cost him the keys to his ATV. That's right. The Braves stole his keys, so they were trying to get the Fanatic to do the tomahawk chop. Now, he was forcing himself to do it one time. Then they wanted a second time before they finally relented and gave him his keys back to his ATV. He did ask for a police officer to help out. I think the police officer was enjoying it as much as everybody else. He did eventually get them back. Andrelton Simmons decided to eventually give them back to him. But I believe he did have to take a photo before he finished it all off. Let's take a look at the Braves lineup for tonight. After all that, it's brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Markakis, Oliveira, Freeman, A.J. Pierzynski bats cleanup. Nick Swisher 5th, Jace Peterson 6th. And then the bottom third of Simmons Bourne and Ryan Weber from Clearwater, Florida, making his major league debut. They'll face Aaron Nola. Nola comes in 5-2 in the big leagues with an ERA of 4.02. 10-4 in the minor leagues. You know, Matt, his ERA dropped down to the low threes, then came back up, then dropped down, came back up his last outing, and that usually, at least this year, means he'll have a good outing tonight.
Well, hopefully he does. As we see the Budweiser scouting report, Aaron Nola's a 3-pitch pitcher. He's pitching between 90 and 91. He will top out at 93. Righties are hitting 205 and lefties are hitting 284.
All right, so that's the concern, is for him to get that number down against left-handers.
And it's all about having a good changeup, which we haven't seen him throw a whole lot this year.
Well, Nick Markakis will lead it off. Markakis was 2 for 3 last night, was intentionally walked a couple times, and we're underway. The first pitch is outside. 7:08 first pitch. The 31-year-old Nick Markakis, a .291 lifetime hitter. Most of his career spent with the Baltimore Orioles. Braves signed him to a long-term contract this past offseason. I'm not sure if he envisioned playing with a handful of rookies. That wasn't the case solely at the beginning of the year. Change-up hit foul toward the Braves dugout. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Now that's back-to-back very good pitches. To a fastball, 1-0, excuse me. Very good location. Backed it up the exact same location with the changeup.
Well, they probably have a game plan based on how he struggled last time against lefties to try to get him into sync. Now they're going to go inside, and the pitch goes outside. 2-2. Bob McClure in charge of working with these young pitchers to get them their foundation built for the rest of their major league career during their rookie seasons. Change up on the outside corner. And he gets Markakis looking, 1 out.
Well, it's time for our Nissan key to the game. And I went with just one tonight. Do not, and I repeat, do not give at-bats away, Phillies hitters. Last night they gave some at-bats away with a 1-0 changeup. Weak comebacker back to the pitcher. And I'm going to go talk about that a little later.
Here's Oliveira, who had a big night last night.
Since I am fired up about hitting today.
Well, you highlighted it, so you must be fired up.
Oh, every single letter had a capital.
Oliveira had 2 hits in last night's ball game. The Phillies were able to get him swinging on strikes in his first 2 at-bats. And after the ball game, he said, yeah, those just weren't very good swings. He said, I wasn't disciplined. My head wasn't into it. I wasn't focused. But Markakis getting walked intentionally twice did focus him. Aaron Harang, who struggled last night, said, they know I throw strikes, and they came out swinging. Curveball swung on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts for Nola. So an aggressive start for the Phillies righty. Well, Freddie Freeman brought the lumber last night. Brought to you by Yellowwood, brand pressure-treated pine in the first inning.
It didn't take him very long to get on the board. Fastball, not a bad pitch, pretty good location. Better piece of hitting going with the ball and crushing a 2-run home run in the first inning.
And the Braves never trailed after that. Freeman rockets that one, knocked down by Ryan Howard. He'll take it to the bag. Side is retired. So you're looking at a 10-pitch first inning for Aaron Nola. Not too shabby. We'll go to the bottom of the first here in Philadelphia. It's the Phillies nothing, and Hernandez to lead it off. I think I've seen him before, and he has. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's take a look at Pete's lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. It'll be Hernandez, Herrera, and Altair, followed by Ryan Howard, Andres Blanco, Brian Bogusevic, Cameron Ruffle bat 7th, Cody Ashley 8th, and Aaron Nola 9th. Cesar Hernandez shows bunt. Takes the first pitch off the outside corner, according to Adrian Johnson. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. Change up, and it's pulled softly to the right side. Weber's there to cover. 3-1 on the putout. Well, Matt, we're going to look at his scouting report in just a moment after we take a look at his minor league numbers. 6-5 in the minors. 10 starts as a minor league pitcher. We just saw a reason why he's been effective for the Atlanta Braves organization.
Yeah, he's as you see the Budweiser scouting report. 87 to 91 mile an hour fastball, nothing overpowering. 3-pitch pitcher, curveball and a change. He's a short arm delivery guy, so the fastball gets on you a little quicker than usual. And he has a very tight curveball and a good changeup that he'll throw at any time, like he just did.
Well, this year in Gwinnett, he was 6-3 in 6 starts, 27 appearances overall, a 2.21 ERA. He delivers a fastball outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Odubel hitting .299. He was 0 for 4 last night. Hit into a double play. Outside, 2-0. That's a fastball at 90. Weber's not a big guy. He stands 6 feet, 180 pounds. And that note was correct. The Phillies did indeed draft him in the 12th round out of high school. Went to Clearwater Central Catholic High School. Decided not to sign, went to St. Petersburg College, and then a year later was selected by the Atlanta Braves in the 22nd round. Out of play, and it's 2-2. Odubel's numbers, even though he was hitless last night, .448 average over his last 7. And he lays off that changeup. It's 3-2.
He will throw that changeup
Ahead, behind, even in the count. Anytime.
Ball 4, so Herrera draws a walk. He's aboard here in the first. And that'll bring Aaron Altair to the plate.
Real quick note before we see Altair's numbers. As a left-handed hitter, from what I've seen so far in the 6 pitches, everything he throws, when he misses, is going to be away to left-handers, because the way he gets behind the ball and he kind of pushes it away with his changeup and his fastball. So if a left-handed hitter, I'm getting on top of the plate and looking to get the barrel early instead of letting it get deep. Because that way you can hit it before it tails out of the zone, or take the swing like Hernandez did his first at bat.
And with that, he topped it to the right side
On a changeup that he's never seen before.
Altair loops it out toward right field. Markakis doesn't have to move too far, and he makes the catch. There's that fastball that moved. There are 2 outs. Today's Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Mark Molesky of Royersford. Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game. Mark will win $100. And Ryan Howard is now the batter. Howard 1 for his last 22, as you see there. Last night he was 0 for 4. And with that, he is 0 for his last 21. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes. All right, so that's exactly what you're talking about, Matt.
Right, and for that being said, now if you're a right-handed hitter, everything's going to be coming inside to you. Altair, first pitch was a fastball inside. They have lots of video on this kid. I was down there watching it. Larry Anderson and I were watching the pitch earlier today on video.
Well, part of that is because he was in the International League.
Yep.
And the Phillies AAA affiliate Lehigh Valley is in the International League. He doesn't walk a whole lot of guys. He walked 10 batters in the minor leagues in nearly 100 innings. Runner goes, pitch is taken low, throw to second is in time. Herrera did not get a good jump. In fact, it almost looked like he slipped at one point. So the putout goes 2-6. Side is retired without a hit. We'll go to the second. Citizens Bank Park. David Buchanan will make his return to the big leagues. He has been announced officially as the starting pitcher up from Lehigh Valley. Tickets can be purchased for the final game of this 3-game series by going to Phillies.com. Top of the second, A.J. Pierzynski will lead it off against Aaron Nola. Pierzynski had a hit the last time Nola faced the Braves. He was 1 for 2. He pops it up, and Cesar Hernandez at second base makes the call. 4 up, 4 down.
AJ's had 6 at-bats, 5 pop-ups, 4 pop-ups, 1 fly ball. It's a lot of home runs up an elevator shaft.
It sure is. He's talking to Freddie Gonzalez as he goes down the stairs. Here's Nick Swisher. 244 career home runs for Nick Swisher. Not too shabby a major league career. He's had more than 30 home runs one time. And overall, he's had 9 different seasons of 20 home runs or more. Things did not work out well in Cleveland. About 2 years in Cleveland, he hit .228 combined with 32 home runs. Interesting, though, he had more than 20 home runs last year for the Indians.
It's a good career.
Breaking ball inside, 1-2. Well, his high in home runs came with the Oakland A's. That's when he hit 35 in one season. That pitch looked like it came over the plate. It did land up and wind up inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Line drive, base hit to left field for Swisher. A 1-out single here in the second. And Jace Peterson's coming up.
Swisher, a nice job of laying off 2 very good curveballs inside. Gets a chance to hit a fastball a little up in the zone. Still has a short swing.
Peterson takes the ball, 1-0. It's going to be a very interesting strike zone here tonight.
Yeah, that was a strike the first inning.
Ground ball to shortstop. That could be 2 depending on the release. Hernandez gets rid of it quickly in time. A 6-4-3 double play. It was all about the release by the middle infielders. No runs, 1 hit, and nobody left. This will certainly help Aaron Nola's cause. A couple quick innings for the Phillies right-hander. Missinelli and John Clark on Breakfast on Broad tomorrow morning from 6 until 8 over on the Comcast Network. NFL starts on Thursday. Patriots and Steelers. Eagles will play on Monday. One of two games that will take place on Monday. Well, here's Ryan Howard again. Howard was up when Odubel Herrera was thrown out trying to steal back in the first inning. So he gets a fresh count, and he hits one foul down the left field line. Inside, 1-1.
So the veteran catcher AJ is. He throws that fastball inside, gets you move your feet a little bit, then he comes with a changeup down the middle. So thinking maybe you might try to speed the bat up.
Well, there we go as that ball runs away from Howard. And it's even now 2-2. That fastball came in at 91 miles an hour. But I can see why he would be effective because there's so much of the same movement between fastball and changeup.
Yep.
That one's ripped. Backhanded on one hop by Freddie Freeman. And one out. Going to bring Andres Blanco to the plate. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. Well, all around baseball today, kind of a fun day because baseball schedules for the 2016 season started to be released, and the same was true here in Philadelphia as the Phillies showed off their schedule for next year. Some of the highlights: the opening day 2016, April 4th in Cincinnati against the Reds. The home opener on April 11th versus San Diego. Some interleague play. They're going to host Cleveland, Kansas City, Chicago White Sox, and Toronto. And on the road, Detroit, Minnesota, the White Sox, and Toronto as well. And we tell folks that 6 and 3 game packs will go on sale in mid-November. So if you want to get your tickets early for the 6 game packs and the 3 game packs, you can do that. Group sales in mid-December. And then, of course, those individual tickets will go on sale in February. And they'll announce the spring training dates coming up not too long from now as well. So it's always fun to see what the schedule is going to look like next year, where we're going to be for a good part of our season. And they did that today. So take a look.
Yeah, we saw the games that the Phillies will face against the American League here at home, but also on the road, visiting Chicago for the second time, White Sox and Cubs, going back to Minnesota, beautiful ballpark, and to Detroit. Haven't been to Detroit in a couple of years.
I've never seen the ballpark in Minnesota, so I'm looking forward to that. If I'm on that road trip.
We'll see if we can pull some strings. It's a big enough booth we can have all three of us.
I know some people, Matt. I'll see what I can do.
Thanks, Murph.
You got it.
Well, 2 away. Here's Brian Bogusevic. Bogusevic made his Phillies debut yesterday and hit a home run. Blasted as a pinch hitter. And here we go.
Well, this was a blast. This got out quick, loud. That was in the 5th inning. That was his number 4 pinch hit home run of his career.
Bogusevic hit .237 as a major leaguer during his career. In the minor leagues this year, he hit. In the minor leagues this year, he hit .296 with 12 home runs and 57 runs batted in. In the spring, that's where the numbers sort of jumbled together. In the spring, he hit .306 for the Phils with 3 home runs. In fact, one of the home runs that he hit, he would have had 4, but it was erased because the game was canceled. Two balls and 2 strikes to Bogusevic. Change up, topped foul. Peanuts, anybody? Oh, he dropped him. Cracker Jacks, Peanuts, Cracker Jacks.
Baseball 101. Peanut tossing 101.
Outside, and it's 3-2 to Bogusevic.
Hit this one over the AT&T sign.
There's a liner down the right field line, and it's hooking foul. No, it looked like he had designs to do just that, Matt.
Well, what I liked about that swing, yes, he was out in front. It was an 82-mile-an-hour changeup. But the bat, watch how long the bat goes through the zone. And then it finishes high. So it gives you an opportunity. If you get fooled, you can still get it out front and still flip it to right field for a home run or a base hit.
Ground ball right side. And Jace Peterson's up with it. Boy, he took a long time to get rid of it. And Bogusevic was moving up the line. But 3 ground outs to the right side. And the Phillies go down in order. 6 up, 6 down, basically, for Ryan Weber. On to Phillies.com. Go to the fans section for all the information. Please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, Matt, here we go. Where did Nick Swisher play college baseball? Where did Nick Swisher play college baseball? The answer will be revealed a little later on. Top of the third. Aaron Nola will face Andrelton Simmons, who had 3 hits last night. In fact, Simmons and Peterson combined for 6 hits in 10 at-bats. They were back-to-back in the order.
I don't like university questions. Requires thinking.
I'll give you a hint for this one at some point.
Now, don't give me the Big East or the Big Ten or whatever, call it the Pac-10, or that doesn't mean anything to me.
If I said Big Ten, it wouldn't matter?
No idea.
No. I'm not saying that it's a Big Ten school, but if I said it, if I said he carries around a horseshoe in his back pocket, would that matter at all?
Oh, yeah.
It would?
No. Horseshoe?
1 ball, 2 strikes to Simmons. Just missed off the inside corner, 2-2. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Nationals lead the Mets 2-1. The hit for the Mets in the first 2 innings, David Wright home run. In the dirt, 3-2. Off the hands, out towards center field. Herrera comes in. He'll take it on a few hops. And Andrelton Simmons picks up a leadoff single here in the 3rd. And that'll bring Michael Bourne to the plate. Michael Bourne hitting 129. That's with the Braves. He didn't fare a whole lot better when he was with the Cleveland Indians. Michael was out chatting with some of the Phillies that are holdovers from his time in the Phillies organization. There are not many. Ryan Howard in particular was one. He did not agree with that last pitch.
No, he did not. But unfortunately, when you're struggling, those pitches are called against you.
I asked Paul Bird, who the former Phil, who does the sideline reporting for the Braves. I asked him about Michael Bourne's year, or at least his time with Atlanta again. And Paul said that everything, he is hitting some balls hard, he said, but he's hitting them right at guys. He said, so the 129 is somewhat deceiving. Because I wondered, you know, what happened? I mean, injuries have a lot to do with it, obviously. Outside, 3-1.
Well, he did get robbed last night by Altera in right field.
He did. And with his speed, it would have at least been a double.
Yep.
This is a guy that was an all-star for two different teams, the Astros and the Braves. Led the National League in stolen bases 3 times. And he works out a walk, so the first 2 batters are aboard. And it means that Ryan Weber will get a chance to bat here. See his career numbers. Now, I don't know what kind of professional hitter he is. I do know that he can hit a golf ball over 350 yards. That doesn't obviously equate to success in the batter's box.
Right.
Here, the question is, can he bunt?
I think we're getting back to the point where he's nibbling again.
Yeah. Whoever bunts it, he jabbed at it, and he bunts it foul. One ball, one strike. Takes a look down at Bo Porter in the third base coach's box to see how the Phillies have it aligned defensively. Blanco is staying home at second. Ashe was making a decision as to whether he was charging or not. Ball's bunted, foul again. 1-2.
You know, nowadays in baseball, they have basically 2 plays for first and second bunt defense. You know, one is regular where Cody reads how hard the ball's bunted. You know, if Nola can get it, he'll go to third. If not, he'll go to first. And then a pickoff play.
He butted at it. He's called out. The throw to second goes off the glove of Blanco, and Simmons is going to head over to third base. And up to second base goes Bourne. Excellent base running by the Braves. So it is a strikeout, but the error to Cameron Rupp will allow the runners to move up into scoring position.
Be interesting to see a strong throw. Would have been very close if they could have threw it all the way to second base in the air.
So now Markakis, the infield back. Markakis takes a strike. It's 0-1. So here's one of the issues that the Braves have had since the All-Star break. Before the All-Star break, they had the best numbers against with runners in scoring position. They were tops in the National League. It's part of the reason why they were 42-42. Since the break, though, 221. Swing and a miss.
Hard to explain, isn't it?
Hard to explain. Runners lead off second and third. Got him through the same pitch. Tightened it up just a little bit. 4 strikeouts.
You talk about perfect location. Nice curveball, back foot. Lefty's nightmare. The off-speed pitch that's that back foot looks so good. You think it's a fastball. Swing right over top of it.
Well, now he's got to take care of Oliveira, which you would think a lot of breaking balls here. There's the first one, tapped foul.
Well, last night he hit 2 mistakes. He hit a harangue hanging fastball up in the zone, and then he hit a hanging curveball.
Fouls back to the screen. It's 0-2. All right, so now he has him set up. If he throws a good breaking ball, he might be able to get him.
Or elevate another fastball.
Or elevate another fastball. Either way, he's in a good spot. Runners lead off. Out towards center field. Odubel Herrera started in. Now he's going back. He gets there and he makes the catch. A little bit of an adventure, but he's able to track it down. No runs, 1 hit, and 2 men left. We'll head to the bottom of the third. .com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. Buy WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. And buy Chevrolet. Visit your local dealer at ChevyDealer.com. Bottom half of the third. Inside the Phillies dugout, you see Maikel Franco and Elvis Araujo, 2 guys that are on the disabled list as we speak. Or shut down as we speak. Cameron Rupp greets Ryan Weber with a foul ball off to the right. It's 0-1.
Cameron's been in the hack mode lately.
He has.
Like every pitch that's coming up, he is just letting it fly.
Like right there. Oh, what a grab on one, well, with one hand by a young lady. Off a tip. There you go. Over to first, and Freddie Freeman. He's been busy tonight. Freddie Freeman this, Freddie Freeman that. And there's one away for Cody Ashe. The Reading Fighting Phils against the Binghamton Mets in the Eastern League playoffs. Games at First Energy Stadium will be Friday, September 11th, Saturday, September 12th, if necessary. And then Sunday, September 13th, if necessary. Order your tickets by going to Fightins.com and use the code Phillies to receive $3 off any ticket. See top prospects like J.P. Crawford, Nick Williams, who is back from the concussion, Andrew Knapp, Ben Lively, Zach Eflin, Jake Thompson. Again, go to Fightins.com. Beautiful ballpark. If you've never been there, it is one of the coolest minor league ballparks you will find. I think I've eaten 1,000 hot dogs at that ballpark. 2-1 Ashe. Two and two. Fouls it down the left field line. Tell you one thing, this kid's pace is good. There's no waiting. He gets it and he goes.
It helps when you have a 16-year vet behind home plate.
Got him on the inside corner. That's a two-seamer. First strikeout. Keep that baseball. A.J. Przinsky got a new ball from the home plate umpire, threw it around, tossed that one into the dugout. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Budweiser still brewed the hard way. This Bud's for you. All right, now Matt, you said you owned a Clydesdale when you were younger?
Yeah, about 10 years ago.
Not a Budweiser Clydesdale.
No, a Clydesdale.
Yeah. Aaron Nola up the first base line. That's a fair ball. Well, so much for the Clydesdale story. At least for tonight, we get out of you that you owned one. And that's it. We've played 3. So far, no hits for the Phils, just 1 base runner. Ryan Weber rolling through the first 3. We'll go to the 4th in a scoreless ball game. And order Green Mountain Coffee K-Cup pods. Great tasting coffee at amazingly low prices. Delivered free the very same day when you order by 11:30 a.m. WB Mason knocks it out of the park. Who but WB Mason? Aaron Nola wrapping up his warm-up tosses. Let's get back to this whole Clydesdale story. I've never met anybody that owned a Clydesdale.
Well, we had my mother. They had Clydesdales.
Okay.
So, of course, they ended up having a Colt, and they had a Clydesdale, and I said, okay, I want it. So it was mine for a matter of a week. And then they had an offer to sell, and they sold it on me.
Really?
Yeah. I think they're just magnificent.
Oh, they are beautiful animals.
Yeah, they're unbelievable.
All right, so they have different Clydesdales for each part of the country and different Dalmatians. Brewer is the Dalmatian on the East Coast, and Brewer is sitting up with the driver. But it's always neat to see them when they come out to different events, and it's nice that the Budweiser folks were able to get them out here for tonight's ball game.
And my wife's grandfather and grandmother used to show them in the exhibition. So you go around and you go to the stalls and you'd see the Clydesdales there. They take the kids on sleigh rides.
Yeah. That one's hit out toward left field, and Bogusevic will track it down. One away. I thought you were going to say that you had a picture of the Clydesdale. There's Brewer, the Dalmatian. You'd have a picture of your Clydesdale pulling you on a cart, like they're doing right here.
No.
You'd have a green hat.
No.
No.
It'd have to be
one strong Clydesdale.
Huh?
If it was one Clydesdale.
Oh, absolutely not. My wife, yes. Me, no.
A.J. Pierzynski takes strike one. It's 0-1.
Hey, guys, you know what's kind of cool? You just saw that shot that Matt Walp, our cameraman, took.
Excellent shot, by the way.
Yeah, but he was up on the wagon part, getting a ride. And I thought to myself, he's probably the second guy, well, the last guy since Pat Burrell got a chance to ride on that wagon in Philadelphia and go through the Philadelphia streets, because they don't let just anybody up there. So you have to be either Pat Burrell or Matt Walp.
and Burrell was not available.
Apparently not.
Yeah. So Matt got the nod. Single by Pierzynski.
Well, Pat Burrell, this is awesome.
Yeah, this was awesome.
Yeah, being up there, that was pretty sweet.
His dog Elvis was up there as well.
Elvis.
The late Elvis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know how Pat would be not being with his teammates for the parade. It looked like he was enjoying himself.
He probably didn't remember.
Nick Swisher singled his first time up. By the way, Pierzynski now has hit in 7 straight. That one is lined out toward right center field. Odubel's going to get there. He makes the catch. That little leap at the end is more and more prevalent.
It is, and Ichiro used to do it a little bit. What it does is when you leave your feet, the ball stops bouncing. There is no more bouncing as soon as you leave your feet.
That's interesting.
So if you're running on your heels, ball's bouncing, point of contact, you leap a little bit, everything stops bouncing.
Is that why Soriano used to do it too?
Yeah.
I just thought it was a tick, like it was a nervous tick or something.
No.
Huh.
Now, I don't know if that's the reason why Herrera does it. Maybe he just has happy feet. But I know Soriano and I know Ichiro, they used to do it all the time.
Yeah, because Lou Piniella tried to get Soriano to stop doing it. If he only knew. 1 ball, 1 strike to Jace Peterson, who hit into a double play. Outside, 2-1. Over to the right side, Howard has got it, flips to Nola covering. 1 hit in the inning for the Braves, but just a 10-pitch inning for Aaron Nola. No runs, a hit, 1 man left. Middle of the 4th, it's a scoreless game. Call 1-800-JEFF now or visit jefferson.edu. Buy your Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Del Val Honda dealer. Visit DelValHondaDealers.com. And by Budweiser. Still brewed the hard way. This Bud's for you. Bottom of the 4th inning, scoreless, and the Phillies do not have a hit as of yet. The only base runner was the walk by Odubel Herrera. By the way, not only can he take shots on the Clydesdale, but also around the ballpark. Our buddy Matt, as Cesar shows bunt, takes strike 1. 0-1. Cesar tapped out his first time up. One ball, one strike. That one's pulled. It's a fair ball over the bag. First hit of the night for the Phils. And it's going to be a double because it was interfered with by a fan who never did get the baseball. Well, no harm. It would have been a double anyway. He's trying to justify himself. Well, that'll bring Odubel Herrera to the plate. He walked his last time up. Murph, 299, not too shabby. Over 300 this past weekend. His goal, he said, is to hit over 300s.
And wouldn't that be a story, Tom? The maturation of Odubel Herrera continues in his first season. And, you know, you have to remind yourself that this guy is a Rule 5 guy, a guy that didn't play higher than AA baseball before this year. And to have a chance to hit over 300, it really is kind of remarkable. And it got us thinking in the office as he lays that one down. Foul ball. And it got us thinking in the office about, you know, what other Rule 5 guys have had seasons like that in their first year. And two do come to mind. Dan Uggla, you remember, back in Florida in 2006. What a season he had, 282, 27 home runs and 90 RBIs for Dan Uggla that year. And the next season in 2007, Josh Hamilton in 90 games had a 292 for Texas, at 19 home runs and 47 RBIs as well. So another good season for him. But you put Herrera's numbers right there with those guys, the kind of season he is having. Nobody knew this guy before he arrived in camp back in late February, early March, but he has certainly made a name for himself now.
He has, and as we've talked about, he's gotten better as the year has gone on. You forget that Josh Hamilton was a Rule 5 selection. Rule 5 selection and then traded to the Cincinnati Reds, which happens sometimes. And for those who aren't familiar with the Rule 5 draft, there are two different versions. There's the minor league version. It's a little easier because you can have the player, if you select him in the minor league version, to go to your minor league affiliate. As that one is punched into left field, a base hit. Hernandez froze, so he'll hold up at third. And the throw is lofted over the head of Oliveira. Phillies have runners on first and third. And then there's the major league version, which means if you select a player, in this case Odubel Herrera, he must remain on your roster the entire season. And if not, he has to be offered back to the team that whence he came, but he has to go through waivers first. So somebody else can pick him up and then assume all responsibilities.
Has it been that way the whole time?
That's a good question.
I thought the Rule 5, at one time it was, you Rule 5 a kid, it's $50,000. You bring him to your organization. If you want to send them back, it's $25,000 in return.
It is.
And straightforward. Now I think you have to clear waivers.
You have to clear waivers because we also saw with Seth Rosine, who is in the Phillies organization, he was claimed by the Dodgers, pitched for the Dodgers. They decided they didn't really want him anymore. They wanted to see if he can go through waivers if anybody claimed him. The Rangers did. He wound up at the Rangers before he was then offered back to the Phillies. Chopper to shortstop. That's going to get a run home, but it's going to wind up being a double play ball. 6-4-3. Hernandez scores. 1-0 Phils here in the bottom of the fourth. So Hernandez is double, which extended the hitting streak to 9. results in a run. Breaking ball. But you are right about the numbers, Matt. It is, you get him for 50, and then if he goes back, you get half of that back. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Some of the notable Rule 5 draft picks in baseball history. Murph mentioned the guys that have stood out recently, but even Jose Bautista was a Rule 5 draft, but not by the Blue Jays. He was taken from the Pirates. This is before he was this current version of Jose Bautista. Johan Santana was a Rule 5 pick by the Minnesota Twins.
Shane Victorino.
Couple times.
Dodgers and us.
Yeah, Padres took him.
Oh, Padres, you're right.
And then from the Dodgers.
Yes.
And then the Phillies eventually took him. Dave Hollins, our friend Dave Hollins, was also a Rule 5 pick. That one's hit sharply on 1 hop to shortstop. Simmons throws out Ryan Howard, and the side is retired. The Phillies do get a run on 2 hits. They do not leave anybody. We've played 4. We'll go to the 5th inning. Aaron Nola has a lead to work with. Answer. All right, Matt, here we go. Where did Nick Swisher play college baseball?
Any more hints?
Well, it is the Big Ten. All right, I'll give you a real good hint. You probably heard people talking about it today. His alma mater played a college game last night.
Ohio State.
Ohio State is correct. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack.
I should get like a half a ding for that one.
Well, 169 games for Swisher at Ohio State. 35 home runs, 323 average. Simmons trying to walk off the pain of that last foul ball. Not a bad spot right there with that pitch, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Good location.
Now, what does that set up then? The breaking ball, right?
It should set up another fastball inside.
So 3 in a row?
I would. And now he's thinking fastball away or a curveball.
It was a curveball that spins every which way. Nola picks it up barehanded. It's now time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use the hashtag #PhillyPhotoDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Michael Bourne walked his initial time up. Line drive, base hit it to center field. So now the conversation will begin between Michael Bourne and Ryan Howard. Good friends. Huh, kind of quiet right now.
I don't think Ryan's in the talking mood right now.
Well, there is some truth to that. Now Weber is up in the box, so he's squaring again. Tried to bunt his last time, struck out, and he jabbed at it. It's 0-1. I don't know if Freddie Gonzalez is thinking like the rest of us that you should be able to bunt as a pitcher when you get up to the big leagues.
Should or shouldn't?
Should.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Then again, big league pitching
Different.
is different, more movement, not necessarily harder.
There he goes. Pitch out.
Nice call.
Rupp's throw sails into center field. And Michael Bourne has second base stolen. 1 ball and 1 strike. Cameron was awful close to a balk there. I mean, he was starting to creep up. Watch, here we go. Up, up, up. Now, maybe he wasn't as far up as I thought.
Just hustled his throw. Did all the time in the world. Nice pitch out, perfect location. Do not see that very often.
Got 16 steals now this year for Bourne. 13 with the Indians. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
It's a good call. No balls, 1 strike. Do a pitch out. Nice call, Pete.
Yeah, Pete does call that. He calls the running game. He got him for a second time. 5 strikeouts for Aaron Nola.
How about this in winter ball? I played 7 years down in Mexico. They do not do any no pitch outs allowed. Like you don't put a pitch out on. If the runner takes off, the pitcher should know automatically to throw a pitch out. So if you hear someone yelling running, he automatically throws the pitch out. The catcher pops out. That's how they do it.
So they don't call any.
They don't call.
But you're allowed to do it if you want.
Oh yeah, I mean the pitcher will be in his stretch as he delivers, and if they yell going, he'll throw an automatic pitch out.
Is that a league rule or something, or is there?
No, that's just how they do
the
it.
way they do it.
That's how they control the running game.
Interesting. Marquez has struck out twice tonight. Well, command is always on the side, or seemingly on the side of Aaron Nola. And he has thrown 16 of 19 first pitch strikes.
Another nice changeup.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Broke his bat. A 2-hopper out to second base. I mean, that's some pitching right there for Aaron Nola. 4-3 in the putout. He leaves 1 in scoring position. Bourne will go back to work without scoring a run. 1-0 Phils as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Chicago Cubs to Citizens Bank Park. On Friday night, it's a great giveaway. The Cabrini College knit hat, free to fans 15 and older. It's all part of a 4-game series between the Phils and the Cubs. Go to Phillies.com to purchase your tickets. Well, the Galapagos gang is wandering up above Harry the K's. I think he's taking some pictures. The fact that they're able to get up there is remarkable. 0-1. Well, I guess that's how they can climb stairs.
I wasn't sure if he was going to see that rail or not.
Inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Good curveball. I don't know if Iggy.
French fry.
Yeah, I don't know if Iggy can fit in that seat. Man can eat umpires. He can eat a French fry. That one's out toward right center field. Pretty well hit. Marquez going back. It is off the scoreboard. And Blanco's on his way to second. He's thinking 3. He's around second, on his way to third, and he'll get there easily. A stand-up triple for Andres Blanco, his 3rd of the year. I tell you, the ballpark really played a part in that triple because the way it came off the scoreboard was very awkward for Michael Bourne.
Yeah, usually, especially where the fence is, you see the pitch first. Location where AJ wanted it, but right there when it hit the wall, the shot our left. And allowed Whitey to get to third base very easily.
Yeah, that's an odd bounce off that scoreboard.
He usually hits it just drop straight down.
I think Marquez picked up those fallen sunglasses and threw them back into the crowd. Here's Bogusevic. It takes outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
Now the infield's playing halfway in. So any hard ball hit on the ground, Blanco has to freeze.
Back toward the middle and off the bare hand of Jace Peterson, picked up by Simmons. It'll be an infield hit and a run scores. 2-0 Phillies. So an RBI for Bogusevic. I was surprised that once the ball went over the mound that Blanco didn't come home.
Yeah, and he actually didn't start going until he realized that Peterson was going to his right up the middle. I mean, that chopper like that, you got to make sure, one, it doesn't go back to the pitcher. So he started going back towards third base, but once he realized it was, see right here, he realized he was gone, scored easily.
So an RBI for Bogusevic makes it 2-0. And Cameron Rupp, who grounded out his first time up, will be the hitter. Bogusevic gets back just ahead of the tag by Freeman.
Quick feet, quick move.
Yeah, I think he surprised him. Well, we mentioned that Weber is a very good athlete, aside from his golf abilities. He went to Clearwater Central Catholic, where his team won a state championship. Same school that produced the Eagles' Riley Cooper. Cooper was a very good baseball player. Went on to play football, of course, instead. While Ryan Weber continued to play baseball. One ball and 2 strikes. Another throw over, and Bogusevic is back. Now, we play a lot of golf during spring training at Bel Air Country Club, and that is where Ryan works during the baseball offseason. So before he goes to spring training, we see him, because the minor league spring training starts later than the major league spring training. So that's why I said that Pete Buchanan's going to look out there and say, man, he looks familiar, because he's always at the golf course. And he's not a big guy, so he looks like one of the kids, just one of the kids. One ball, 2 strikes to Rupp. And he hits it foul. Inside, 2-2. Well, the kid's not bad. I mean, the way he mixes his pitches, he's smart. They appeal the check. No swing, says says Tom Woodring.
Off to the races. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Pitcher on deck.
Chopper to short. That could be 2. Simmons awkwardly has it. Flips to Peterson in time to first.
Yeah, I said pitcher was on deck. I meant Ashley on deck.
I still thought they were going to run.
I did too.
Well, it's time now for a cold hard fact, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. And the Braves and the Phillies among the leaders for pitchers making their major league debut. Braves with 12 pitchers making their major league debut. The Phillies with 7. Shockingly, the Yankees, who have been teetering around first place the entire year, have 11 pitchers who have made their major league debut. To me, that sounds like a lot for a team that's battling for division. So the Phils score another run. RBI infield single. 2-0 Phillies as we go to the 6th. the plate and become a force for the Phillies on defense, throwing out would-be base stealers on a regular basis. Cam has pulled his own weight at the plate as well, hitting .310 in August. His 7 home runs in the month ranked second among catchers in all of baseball. Rupp has stepped out of the backup role and stepped into success as a starter. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Well, Calvin and Iggy are working their way around Harry the K's in the upper level.
Little kid.
Little kid's wondering, what have I gotten myself into? As we begin the top of the 6th, Olivero will lead it off, and he checks his swing on the first pitch fastball. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. Good breaking ball. He does have a good breaking ball. I don't know what he does that makes it so much better than others. Maybe because we don't see that style of breaking ball that often. And because it's so good, it stands out. And that one goes through the hole. That one didn't have as much depth as he probably would have liked.
Right, and I think that's what's different with Aaron Nola's curveball is that it's never going to be the same. Because of the arm angle. At times you'll get underneath it a little bit more. It'll be like a little spin up there, like a hanger or a cement mixer. And sometimes you'll get on top of it a lot, snapdragon it. What a baseball terms right there.
Little snapdragon.
Little snapdragon. Cement mixer.
Freeman is 0 for 2. Sharply retired by Ryan Howard his first time up. Flied out to left his last time. Lays off. It's 1-0. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, not only the Mets and the Nationals is a big one going on, but the Cubs Cardinals is a big one as well. Cubs lead the Cards 2-0. Anthony Rizzo, his 100th career home run. They beat up Lance Lynn in yesterday's ball game. Cardinals still have a 5.5 game lead over the Pirates, 7.5 over the Cubs. Another chance for Bogusevic out in left field with Freeman up. 1 away. Keep up with the pennant races in true HD quality with MLB.TV Premium. Watch every out-of-market game live on more than 400 supported devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and more. Visit MLB.TV today. There are the standings in the Central Division. Cardinals and the Pirates each have eclipsed 80 wins. The Cubs 1 win away from reaching that number 2. To the right side, that'll sneak into right field, a base hit. So Przinsky has his second hit.
Well, that's a veteran right there who knows how to hit that hole at first base. I mean, he went out there and dove after that ball. Rolled over that top hand on purpose to hit that hole. Down, look at him just roll over. Such an advantage for left-handed hitters. That's a pitch that he usually tries to drive to left center or left field. But been around a while and he's hit that hole many, many times.
Well, here's Swisher, who does have a hit tonight. He's 1 for 2. It's only a 2-0 lead, so the Phils will try to manage through the 6th inning. Outside, 1-0. First base, Ryan Howard will let it go foul. It's 1-1. 21 pitches in the third inning. That's really the only time he's had an issue. And even in that third, he was able to get out of a second and third jam by getting Markakis and Oliveira. You like his changeup tonight?
I do. I do. It's starting at the knees, dropping out of the zone late. That was the pitch I was impressed with in spring training the most.
And it's a pitch that, you know, Cameron Rupp has said that he needs to throw more too. Got him.
Nice.
A frustrated Nick Swisher. 6 strikeouts for Aaron Nola. That's the same pitch that he threw to Markakis when he struck out Markakis in the third inning.
Once again, area where lefty thinks I can crush this ball. Next thing you know, it drops right underneath the barrel.
And Swisher not too happy
Yeah,
about
I
it.
did that about 1,400 times, kid. Don't worry about it. It's a lot better than hitting a double play. Both pitchers tonight are relying on a very good fastball. They're both saying throwing about 89, 90, 91, but the movement on both pitchers tonight has been very impressive.
I agree.
For 2 rookies to come in and throw that well.
No balls, 2 strikes to Peterson with runners on first and second. Curveball hit back to the box, flag down by Nola. Fantastic play. Side is retired. He works out of another difficult spot like the third. He leaves 2. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 men left. But he also helped his own cause with some good defense, in good position with great reactions. That wraps up the top of the 6th inning here in Philly. Phillies and buy the Quality Plus Ford stores. Go further. 2-0 Phils. They scored a single run in the 4th inning, a single run in the 5th inning. Now as we go to the 6th, Aaron Noel will lead it off. He grounded out his first time up. Outside corner to Noah. It's 0-1. Aaron, for his big league career, has 2 hits. I make it sound like he's been here for 20 years. For his big league season, he has 2 hits.
I would say big league career.
Yeah.
He's got 19 at bats.
Strike 3 on the outside corner, a curveball. Second strikeout for Ryan Weber. One away. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, thanks, guys. Well, as promised earlier in the game, we have selected the Davis Strong fan photo of the game. Today's photo comes from KJ1217. She says, enjoyed alumni weekend with my mom. Great picture. Mother and daughter. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag Philly Photo Davis Strong Fan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's all brought to you by T-Mobile.
All right, Murph, we appreciate that.
Who didn't enjoy Alumni Weekend?
I thought Alumni Weekend was great this year.
Great.
I mean, it usually is, but for some reason, and you know, there was a lot of things that were going on behind the scenes, out on the field that were entertaining. It was just great to see everybody.
They definitely do a great job. It's fun to be a part of.
I think the other part of it is that there weren't a ton of 08 guys, but an 08 guy went into the Wall of Fame. And we're going to start seeing that, I mean, not next year, but in the years to come, a little more often. Well, 12 ground ball outs. This young man is in his major league debut. Can be quite proud of what he's been able to accomplish. He's only allowed 4 hits. He's only thrown 70 pitches. Odubel takes inside with a breaking ball. And he's as advertised also. He's only walked 1 guy. 10 walks the entire year. I don't care what level you're at. 10 in essentially 100 innings. Into the Phillies dugout over the heads of everybody sitting on that front bench. Wake up, David Buchanan. You're starting tomorrow. Back in the big leagues.
Back in the show. 3 consecutive curveballs right here. Trying to finish him off with a changeup.
Well, he does. Freddie Freeman will feed it to Weber covering, and the side is retired. 6 innings for Ryan Weber. Phillies have gotten single runs in the 4th and 5th against him, but that's it. Well, I tell you, I don't know what's funnier, the fanatic kicking the ATV and hurting his foot, or the glove being thrown at him when he goes past the relief pitchers. Time now for our Delaware Valley Honda Dealers game summary. It's 2-0 Phils as we go to the top of the 7th. Both Ryan Weber and Aaron Nola have pitched well through 6 innings. And Nola goes to work here in the 7th against the bottom 3rd. Now that one rides in against Simmons. It's 1 ball and no strikes.
I'm kind of a fan of the Iggy catching the French fry.
His gang has been very involved.
Are they going to hold off and see if this hit him?
Yeah, I think that's what they wanted to know from Simmons, and Simmons basically said, I don't know. That is reviewable whether a batter's been hit by a pitch or not. It's fouled over the dugout, 1-1.
Simmons doesn't want to get hit by a pitch right now. He's just swinging the bat too well.
1 for 2 tonight, 4 for 6 in the series. Curved ball spun out towards short. Blanco's up with it. These lucky fans are tonight's Citizen 7. They will each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Good banking is simple, clear, and personal, and that's helping you bank better. Citizens Bank. I don't know if I haven't noticed this before, or if it's more evident with Noah's curveball. The amount of balls that are coming off the bat and spinning oddly out toward, whether it be Nola or in that case Blanco. That one didn't spin awkwardly at all. That was a shot. 2 outs. And that is it for Ryan Weber. His major league debut is over with. They're going to go to the bench. And David Castro will pinch hit. I should say Daniel Castro. Well, good job by Ryan Weber.
He didn't even sweat.
I don't think he reached 80 pitches.
No, he did a very nice job.
4 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. 74 pitches for Ryan Weber. Missed his spot, but still went over the plate. Got him. Strike 3. 91-mile-an-hour fastball. He shocked him. He's expecting curve, I would think, and he throws him the fastball. It's a 1-2-3 7th inning for Aaron Nola. Well, it's a bounce-back game for Nola. He is bouncing back in a big way for the Phils. Going on between Bob McClure and Aaron Nola. Nola's night is done just from the signals that have been we've been able to decipher in the dugout, and there is bullpen action. Luis Garcia is warming up, so they are trying to manage his innings. And I mean, this was as efficient in 7 innings as we've seen from him. 74 pitches for Ryan Weber, not too many more for Aaron Nola. So McKirahan will take over for the Braves, the lefty. By the way, 7 strikeouts for Nola. That is a season high. Both these young guys did a nice job.
They did.
Back toward the middle, a base hit for Altair. Well, that brings us to our Geico quote of the day. And it's on Aaron Altair getting more playing time. The more games you play, the more days you're up here, the more you're comfortable. I'm definitely having a good time being around all these guys. I just hope I can continue to keep playing well. Well, all he has to do is keep making catches like he made last night out in right field. Then he's going to play every day. I mean, you can't teach that kind of athletic ability and really awareness out on the field. Howard is 0 for 2.
Here's that catch last night you were talking about, Tom. Just tremendous jump. Timing it perfectly. Being 6'4" helps.
So we got a miss 0-2. Howard is 0 for 23. 0 for his last 23. Kieran's numbers 1-0, 6.23 ERA. Swing and a miss, and Howard strikes out. One away. Heading into extra innings and need a boost? Call WB Mason and order Green Mountain Coffee K-Cup pods. Great tasting coffee at amazingly low prices, delivered free the very same day. When you order by 11:30 a.m., WB Mason knocks it out of the park. Who but WB? Blanco tripled and scored his last time up. Into the Braves dugout. Line drive, base hit into center field. All he does is hit.
All he does is give quality at bats.
Yeah.
And he really does. He has a great game plan. And the triple was a fastball inside earlier. He turned on it.
go with Darnell Sweeney to pinch hit, and Freddie Gonzalez is going to go to the right-hander. So they're going to have him bat left-handed instead of right-handed. A pitching change here at Citizens Bank Park. Originally, Francoeur was out.
But it's such an advantage to have a switch hitting guy with power on the bench. Now the play has to be made by the visiting manager.
Next week, the Phillies will wrap up this homestand, 10-game homestand here in the month of September by taking on the Washington Nationals, 3 night games. So all 3 at 7:05. Phillies could play a role in the division, the outcome of the division. Right now, the Nationals are handing it to the Mets, by the way. That game's in the 6th. Here we have another pitching change for the Braves. Daniel Barawa will take over for Atlanta. This will be his 4th game up here in the majors. Sweeney will switch over, bat left-handed, and he hits it the opposite way, caught off the end of the bat. All right, so that's why Freddie Gonzalez wanted the righty in there. Soft line drive. And Cameron Rupp is coming up.
Good base running by Altair to freeze on the line drive, not to get doubled up.
Rupp is 0 for 2. 0 for 5 in the series. Foul ball off the mask of Pierzynski. Barawa made his major league debut with the Yankees in 2014. In fact, I think a lot of people were surprised when the Yankees put him on waivers. They designated him for assignment. And the Braves claimed him. That was back in August, the beginning of August, and he strikes out Cameron Rupp after getting Darnell Sweeney to line out. He leaves a couple. We've played 7. On to the 8th. We'll go into the Phillies bullpen. Go to Nissan.com for more information on some of the deals that are popping up. And by McDonald's. Double 11 at McDonald's with a double cheeseburger and small fry for just $2.50. McDonald's. I'm loving it. Top of the 8th inning. Phillies 2, Braves nothing. Changes for the Phils defensively. Blanco moves from shortstop to third base. The new shortstop is Freddie Galvis. And the new left fielder is Darnell Sweeney, who came on to pinch hit. He stays in the ball game. And taking over on the mound is Luis Garcia. 61 games so far for Garcia, 3-4, 3.34 ERA. Markakis is 0 for 2, and he's probably pleased as punch that Aaron Nola's out of the ball game. Look out. Ball was smoked. 0-1. Everybody's okay, though. Been several days since Garcia last worked. He went an inning, had 2 strikeouts against the Red Sox on Sunday. Upstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike. Off the hands, out towards center. Herrera let it drop in front of him for a base hit. Wasn't hit all that hard, but Markakis has his 3rd hit of the series. Time now for the Major League Notebook. Murph?
All right, thanks, Tom. It's brought to you by St. Joseph's University, and the New York Mets and free agent to be Yoenis Cespedes have come to an agreement, and it's an agreement that allows the Mets now to negotiate with Cespedes after the season is over. As it stood right now, his contract would only let them right now during the pennant race and then 5 days after the World Series, but this new agreement in his contract makes him a free agent after the end of the season, which he would have been, but the Mets are also one of the teams that are allowed to negotiate with him after the season. Makes it a lot easier for them to re-sign them. So a good move for the team if they indeed want him back. And Nathan Eovaldi, the news not good for him in the New York Yankees. They are shutting him down. He is having elbow issues he has for the last couple weeks. He was 14-3 for the Yankees at one point this season, but has not been the same since. They say he is done for the season. It is possible, they're saying, that perhaps he can have some kind of role in the postseason if that inflammation in his elbow goes away. However, that's probably unlikely, but he is definitely done for the regular season for the New York Yankees. So they're going to have to fill a spot in the rotation.
Really tough to find somebody who can pick up that. You know, he gives up runs, there's no doubt about it, but to have that kind of win total at this point in the season.
Yeah, his ERA just a little bit over 4, but in the American League.
Yeah, at least very good for a 4.
Yeah.
Well, that's why the Yankees have all those players, those pitchers that have made their Major League debut this year. And that's a smart move by both Cespedes and the Mets to extend that deadline. As it was now, if they didn't sign him, Murph was talking about, they wouldn't be able to talk to him until May of 2016.
Yeah, and you would have to believe that he probably would have been gobbled up by then.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's a smart move, too. You know, they don't want to have to negotiate with him during the pennant race that they're going to be involved in. That would be a distraction. So now both sides know that it can happen. It can happen after the season.
All right, Murph. It's 3-2 now to Hector Olivera.
Yeah, they had lots of time. 5 days to come to an agreement. If you want him that much, you're going to have to overpay for him.
Well,
bottom line.
That is true. And I think that's partly what they're trying not to do is overpay.
That's why he should have said no. Cespedes.
All right, get him on the horn, Murph. Ball 4. Oliveira draws a walk. Well, it's time now for a Hyundai defensive play of the game. This turned out to be a big play in the 6th.
It was. It came back in the 6th inning. Big old curveball. Back to Noli. Snags that. Calm and cool and flipped it to Ryan Howard for the 3rd out. The reaction right there. I like that, knowing your position after you throw a pitch. That's why it's your Hyundai defensive play of the game. Brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers.
All right, so Noah was lifted after 7 scoreless innings. Again, they're trying to manage his innings and his workload. But now Luis Garcia has put himself in a tough bind with Freddie Freeman coming up. Tying run is at first base. And Freeman is 0 for 3. He's grounded out and he's flied out twice. They also have Ken Giles up and warming. Swing and a miss. The slider is not the pitch that he needs it to be at this point.
But he's throwing a 2-strike slider. He's bouncing it every time. He's pulling his fastball, which is causing his cutter to go up and away to the right-handers.
As good a year as he's had, and he's had a good year. He's had outings like this, though, where he runs into trouble with command. Now, he got helped out there with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball that just kept on moving. Take help wherever you get it, Matt.
Absolutely. He gets in these type of little funks when he doesn't pitch a lot.
Yeah.
He loses that slot throw.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Tried it again. This time it zipped out. He's got some kind of natural cut going with that. Brzezinski's on deck. Got him. Freeman was trying to sell it. Third base umpire Doug Eddings wasn't buying. 1 out. And A.J. Brzezinski's coming up.
This is the 3rd time he did this. Helped him out on a cutter down and in. Close, but he went.
Closer than I thought, yeah, looking at the replay.
Trying to get a fastball away to get him on top of the ball again. He's smothering it. That's why he's pulling everything. So you can see Cameron was moved to the outside corner. And once again, he pulled it. Because there's no way he's throwing that 96, 97, 98 mile an hour cutter. Well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, you never know nowadays. He might have found a new grip. But I think he's getting around it. That's why he's pulling it so much.
Chopper softly to left of the mound. Garcia has it. His play is to first. 2 outs. One 3 on the put out. And with 2 away, Nick Swisher's coming up. Now the tying run is at second base. think Buchanan's debating. And here he comes. No more debate. Looks like he's going to make a double switch. So they'll bring in Giles, I believe. And Francoeur's coming in as well. So they're going to move Altair over to left field, and Francoeur is going to play right field. Pitching change and a position change. Phillies lead it 2-0. 2 on here in the top of the 8th. Foundation invite you to the ultimate back-to-school read-along event taking place at Citizens Bank Park on Saturday, October 3rd. Join Ryan and Crystal Howard as they make their book series, Little Rhino, come alive during a pregame read-along event. Visit Phillies.com/read-along for more information. Well, Altair does indeed move to left field as Jeff Francoeur comes in to play right field. Ken Giles will check in on the mound. So this is going to be an inning and a third save opportunity for Giles. So Markakis leads off third base. Oliveira leads off second. Swisher is 1 for 3 tonight. Struck out his last time up. Takes a fastball low. It's 1-0. Down and away. 2-0. In the dirt, 3-0.
Nice play by Cameron.
He has Jace Peterson on deck if he winds up losing Nick Swisher here. Swisher's taking a pitch here, right?
Absolutely not.
You don't think so?
No chance. If it's a fastball to hit, he's going to swing at it.
That was more of a pitcher's pitch there.
No, he was fired up to hit that. One thing about Swisher that he knows the strike zone. He knows his strengths.
4, so that'll load up the bases. And Jace Peterson is coming up. Peterson tonight is 0 for 3. 3 ground outs, including 1 into a double play his first time up. Nick Swisher is going to be lifted from the ball game. Todd Cunningham will come on to pinch run at first base. So here is Peterson, 239 hitter with 5 home runs. The first pitch from Giles, way inside. And it's 1-0, and Rupp is out to talk to him. Well, for Giles, it's been a little bit of time since he's been able to record a save because the Phillies struggles. He did pitch on Saturday 2/3 of an inning. He allowed 1 inherited runner to score. Broke his bat out towards short. Caught by Galvis. Side is retired. Should say he obliterated the bat. Braves leave him loaded here in the 8th inning. No runs, 1 hit, 2 walks. We'll move to the bottom of the 8th.
Deliveries of the game. This is right here where the Fanatic fires a hot dog and just absolutely smokes Iggy. And then Iggy gets a French fry and he absolutely loves Chicken and Pete's French fries. Those are your WB Mason deliveries of the game.
It would have been great if Iggy was able to catch the hot dog. Bottom of the 8th inning, and Barawa delivers outside. 1 ball, no strikes to Freddie Galvis, batting 8th now. Ground ball to first. That's a foul ball. It'll be Galvis and then Francoeur before we hit the top of the order. A bit outside, 2-1. Galvis today is making his first appearance. His average at .265 with 6 home runs, 37 runs batted in. Wide again, 3-1. Is punched the other way, foul. A high fly ball to left field. And Cunningham puts it away. One out. Tomorrow night, Derek Gunn and Ruben Frank are joined by NBCSN's John Ritchie to discuss the Eagles' preparations for their Week 1 matchup against the Falcons, plus a look at the season's most influential Eagles. Catch Quick Slants presented by Nissan tomorrow at 6, only on Comcast Sportsnet. So Frank Gore, who began his career, of course, with the Atlanta Braves, 7 hits in his last 12 at-bats against the Braves. Takes a whiff at the first pitch. He made his major league debut in July of 2005. He DH'd this past weekend in Boston.
He didn't like it.
He didn't like DHing.
Probably because he's in too good a shape to DH.
I said, we were talking about, your goals and what you wanted to do as a DH. You said you asked Matt what you should do, and Matt said, just don't swing at the first pitch. He goes, yeah, then I swung at the first pitch.
Yeah.
And a line drive base hit it to center field. So Frank Gore, 8 hits now in his last 13 ABs against the Atlanta Braves. Going to bring Cesar Hernandez to the plate.
It's amazing, though, that he can take a swing at that first one, miss it by a mile. Okay, 3/4 of a mile. And then make the adjustment and hit a ball that was a better pitch low and away for a line drive up the middle.
Another line drive. One hopper stabbed by Simmons, and it squirts out of his glove, and everybody is safe. That ball was hit hard, and it was spinning in that glove. They do score a hit. It would have been an incredible double play if they were able to turn it.
Well, you're right. He hit that ball right on the nose. Oh, and right there as he's trying to pick it out of his glove, I think he just pushed it away with his hand. A 2-step and a dive right there. Yeah, that's a one-hop line, a missile up the middle. Oh, well, hang with him.
Yeah, Odubel, who was 1 for 2. His average sitting at 300 even. Falls it back to the screen. It's 0-1.
Well, from yesterday's game and to today's game, Herrera has been getting a steady diet of off speed. A lot of change-ups, a lot of curveballs. It's nice to see a fastball first pitch, and he had a good swing at it. Doesn't take very long to let them know that Odubel Herrera is a very good fastball hitter.
They called time as Barawa was ready to pitch before. Barawa walked off the mound. Krasinski staring at him as he's settling back into the box. No balls, 1 strike. Tried to check. Did he go? Yes, says the third base umpire, Doug Eddings. He didn't look like he went at all. Open action for the Braves. Kelly to the left. Detweiler, Ross Detweiler to the right. He's the lefty. Another foul ball, staying alive. Now, he had an at-bat like this in Boston the other day where he was fouling a bunch of these pitches toward the outer part of the plate off and fouling them off to the left, and then he punched it right down the left field line. In fact, he had 2 at-bats that way in the series against the Red Sox, the last day against the Red Sox. Lays off 2-2. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Mets have made it a 1-run lead. A bases loaded double by Cespedes makes it 7-6 in the top of the 7th inning. The Nationals have just brought Drew Storen in, and Cespedes cleared the bases against him. So much for that series to be about the starting pitching. In the air to right field. That one's way back there. It is gone! 3-run home run for Odubel Herrera. And the Phillies have a little bit of a cushion. It's a 5-0 ball game. Of Royersford, you just won $100. That was a heck of an at-bat in our McDonald's home run jackpot.
It was at the foul. 3 foul fastballs off. He gets a slider down and in, drops the barrel, and as soon as he hits it, he knows it's a 3-run homer. What a very good at-bat right there.
That brings Altair to the plate. 1 out. 5-0 Phillies. Altair takes strike 1. All right, well, so much for punching it down the left field line. But really, that was a heck of an at-bat. That's indicative of the kind of year he's had, the kind of second half he's had. Murph talked about, last 10 years, 12 years, people start talking about Rule 5 drafts and whether it works or not. They'll talk about Uggla. They'll talk about Hamilton. They're going to throw Odubel's name in there.
Absolutely. Look, when you're fouling off pitches, blowing away at 95, 94, having good at-bats, and on the 7th pitch, you see a slider down and in, and you react to hit a home run. One, it tells you got very good hands, good eye-hand coordination. And watch the location. It's below the knees, or at the knees.
And you're right, he knew it.
Oh, yeah.
Outside, ball 4. So Altair draws a walk. And how Howard will not face the right-hander. He's going to face Detweiler. So pitching change with one man down here at the bottom of the 8th inning. Phillies now have a 5-0 lead, and the left-hander Ross Detweiler will come in. A little cushion provided by Odubel. He'll be given out free to fans 14 and under. It's all part of the Phillies and the Cubs 4-game series. It wraps up this Sunday afternoon at 1:35. Ryan Howard is loosening up in the on-deck circle to face Ross Detweiler. Phillies have a 5-0 lead. Detweiler 1-0 with a 7.36 ERA. Thirteen strikeouts in 14 2/3. Howard comes in 0 for his last 24, and he's probably thinking, oh man, I got Ross Detweiler I got to deal with here.
Well, the good thing is he's probably going to see a fastball. Detweiler throws a lot of fastballs. That being said, he'll probably see a lot of sliders or curveballs. But he does throw a lot of fastballs.
Howard 3 hits against Detweiler in his career. He's got Altair over at first with one man down. There is a fastball, and it's 0-1. Oh, and 2. He got a piece of it, hit it pretty far down the left field line foul. Pinballs are out a little bit, stays no balls and 2 strikes. Howard rolls over on one of the right side. It's going to wind up being a double play. And the side is retired. But the damage is done. The Phillies add 3 on the home run by Odubel Herrera. Career high 3 RBIs for Odubel. Another 2-hit night for him. He's now at 302 with 8 home runs and 40 runs batted in on the season. Every time the Phillies pitchers retire the opposition 1-2-3, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Well, this is still a safe situation. Second time this has happened for Ken Giles. Andrelton Simmons is 1 for 3. Fastball in there, 0-1. Ryan Weber started for the Braves. It went 6 innings, allowed 4 hits and 2 runs. Aaron Nola started for the Phils. He went 7 innings, did not allow a run. Slider outside. Toyota Major League scoreboard. Lucas Duda just walked with the bases loaded to tie that ball game up.
On 4 pitches that weren't even close.
It's a 7-7 game. Matt Williams has got a. I mean, he has no hair to pull out on his head, but he's going to. I don't know what he's thinking right now. They're going to put my guys in the position to do well, and what a way. 5-3 on the putout. That's amazing. We have that game on in the booth, and that's 5 in a row that Storen's thrown out of the strike zone against the Mets. A strike to Michael Bourne. It's 0-1.
Make it 6. Nice pitch.
Strike 3. 3 pitches that Bourne thought were all off the plate. He said something after strike 2, and I would think that even before that pitch came in, it was in his head.
Location, same as the first 2.
Pedro Siriaco will pinch hit for the Braves. They're down to their final out. Siriaco tried to bunt his way on. Last night he bunted foul into the glove of Cameron Rupp. Ken Giles, strike thrower.
Notice he's backed off with the velocity. Backed off 2 or 3 miles an hour with the velocity. Now he's using better control.
And he's only going to throw his 15th pitch right now. And that's number 15. After the ball game, Tommy Green is going to talk about Aaron Nola's performance tonight, and also the fact that Phil's offense came to life a little bit. Only on Cure Auto Insurance presents Phillies postgame live. Again, that's coming up right after this ball game. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch. Grounder foul. Again, it's no balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. He went after a high fastball, and Ken Giles picks up the save as the Phils end this losing streak. They win it 5-0 over the Atlanta Braves. The 5-game losing streak is over. Thanks to Odubel Herrera and the rest of the offense. Odubel's 3-run home run gave the Phillies a little extra cushion going into the 9th inning. 9 of the 10 pitches that Ken Giles threw in this inning were strikes. And how about the fact that Aaron Nola has now won 16 games during his first full year of professional baseball.
Well, he threw very well tonight. 7 innings, allowing 6 hits, no runs. First inning was a changeup and swing. I thought tonight was the best he had working with the changeup down the zone. He had late movement with his fastball. Very good curveball, especially down into left-handers. A lot of swing and misses, knowing how to field his position as well. So I thought all in all today, he had tremendous command of all 3 pitches. So it was nice to see tonight.
Well, Andres Blanco had another good night for the Phils offensively. He's been such a godsend for this ball club, and he is trying to avoid his teammates. He does not want to get pied.
He's trying to avoid me, too, I think.
And he's down on the field with Murph. Murph, why would he avoid you?
I don't know. Yes, here with Andres Blanco.
There you go.
He knew he was... You know, when you give and you give and you give, you're going to get sometimes, right? You do know that, right?
That's what it's all about, yeah.
Let's talk about your game, because every time it seems that you're in the starting lineup, it's a couple of hits for you. 2 more hits tonight. You got your batting average up to 310. You seem so comfortable at the plate right now.
Well, buddy, I think it's all the speed I've been getting the past on the year. It been make me a better player. Even in the home play, and the dugout, shortstop, third base, everywhere I go, I feel comfortable. I've been blessing. Thanks God for giving me another opportunity to be a success.
Pete Buchanan has said so many times, and he's reiterated it over the past couple of days, just how important you have been in every role you've played on this team. And as a utility guy and as a starter at this point, that's got to make you feel pretty good, I would think.
Well, that's a challenge. I take everything as a challenge. It's every day that's an important day for me. I don't know when I'm going to start. I just came to the ballpark to be ready at any moment, any situation. It don't matter. It don't matter where I play that day. I just want to be able to help the team to get the win, or even pinch running, or get pinch hit about late in the game. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm pretty sure that I came with hungry that night.
And sometimes your role is just talking to some of the other guys. And I know one guy you talk to a lot is Odubel Herrera.
Yeah.
And are you ever amazed at what he's been able to do this season?
Yeah. I've been seeing his change from the spin training to right now. That kid is awesome. He been make all the adjustment that we've been teaching around. We say everybody try to help each other in this club. That's why we are like right now a little tired. That's normal, but since that, every night we try to give our best to get the opportunity to win.
Andres, always good to talk to you. Congratulations on a good win. Guys, back upstairs.
All right, Murph. Appreciate that very much. Look out, Andres. It's not a pie. It's a rosin. We'll be back to wrap things up from Philadelphia right after this.